Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Impossible Creatures 2021 2v2 World Cup. And I am on the edge of my seat. My name is Will, and I am joined by my co-Will.
Oh, that'd be me, I suppose. I guess I'm the other Will.
The man, the myth, the
So,
legend.
you was gonna let me talk, Will? We went through this before we started. Damn, now we're not gonna get any ad revenue. Okay, so this game is Beefy and Blother, conveniently opposite sides of the Atlantic, presenting Team Scotland against B-Champ and Ryan, who are the second USA team, USA-2. The first match is going to be on Eroded Duos as picked by the bracket this year, which is really fun. We've got Blother and Beefy on the north, and B-Champ and Ryan on the south.
And straight away, can I just say they have made this really hard for the casters because the south team are almost the same colour, and so is the north team. So a bit of a meta game with both teams ruining the casters' lives, but this is going to be a hell of a matchup. Of course, Blother and Beefy, really experienced, really good players, but extremely rusty. Neither of these guys have played really in like years. And of course, B-Champ and Ryan have been practicing a lot lately. They're always super tough threats.
Yeah, and they always play a lot, so B-Champ and Ryan don't really have much gap in their IC history where they haven't played.
That's right.
Whereas obviously Blother and Beefy have had quite extended gaps multiple times. So although they've been very dominant players at certain points in their IC history, it's really about can they bring it all back to this specific patch and work in a team environment against what will be a very strong USA-2 team in B-Champ and Ryan.
That's it. They've got to be able to bring it on the day. They're doing some really long-distance mining here for these expos. That's strong stuff. Meanwhile, Ryan has expanded super early to take this island. That's a huge play.
Yeah, he hasn't even got any rods yet, so he's going full boom. I wonder if like B-Champ's going to take some early aggression.
B-Champ going for the mind games there by putting those fences down, but it doesn't look like he's actually coming in with a rush. I think this is something that was like pure mind games on his part.
I think that is something they discussed like at length was how mind games can affect other players. Blother's about to hit level 2. I think B-Champ was already at 2 as well. Ryan on his way to 2. Beefy not started yet. It's going full macro.
Wow, that's extremely interesting. A slow 2 coming out, and meanwhile there's henchmen running all over the place, almost all of them being chased.
We do have B-Champ with a CC down in mid. Looks like he's making, what are these?
Armadillo chameleons. Yes, extremely interesting. 122.32, so like pretty reasonably priced. Defense is of course pretty cheap in this patch, so these are good units.
They're also slow, so they get a bit of a discount for being slow.
That's right.
I shouldn't say discount, but they're priced cheaper than units with speed who have to pay for speed. Blother has a water chamber down of his own and is making angler pistas.
Now these are pretty cute little fellas. 123 coals, 0 elec.
Yeah, they seem to be like the meta 0 elec level 2 amphib unit. We see these quite a lot.
Yeah, and it looks like they're not going to match up super well against these chameleons, but it depends on how the micro plays out. Oh, rat owls for the camo plague. He has procced plague. Okay, that is pretty big.
Oh, and he's on 1 HP. That rat's on 1 HP.
Oh my god, that is so clutch.
Just in time.
Well done, little snow rat. That's so cool.
Ryan, meanwhile, is also making angler pistas from the east side of the map.
Goodness me, this is actually looking really, really good for USA at the moment. They are absolutely dominating economically with that island.
Yeah, kind of huge. B-Champ really is taking the early game aggression predominantly. Ryan being allowed just to tech. As with Beefy, to be honest. Beefy just hit the level 3. Ryan's about to. B-Champ has just started and Blother's about halfway through. So B-Champ's slightly behind, but interestingly, he hasn't really gone for any of the other generators. I'm just taking his second generator, whereas some of the other players have had theirs for a lot longer.
Yeah, USA
cascade of 3s coming in now.
USA taking that map mid geyser and Beefy expanding to the left to take the island. That's a really interesting play. This artillery should match up really well against the electric eel zebras, but unfortunately it moved into melee range.
Focus fire is coming out really, really nicely.
Yeah,
Although
that's heaps of
Ryan's
resources wasted.
multiple chambers is nice. It enables him to reinforce quickly, and he does have the economy to sustain these polar bear caterpillars quite well.
That is true. And meanwhile, B-Champ is doing a good job of harassing this Expo. He will get this tower down pretty quickly unless it gets repaired.
But we do see Beefy making quite a massive units now on the west side with a heap of
he has gone
camouflage
hard.
units.
He has gone hard and he has attacked B-Champ's Expo. That was pretty good. He's pulling out now because of the sound beam. He'll go around and attack the other Expo, I imagine. Huge plays.
Yeah, they're getting sound beams down. Ryan's going to actually fence off 2 of his henchmen and delete the fence now. But these units are just going to presumably come and hit Ryan's Expo, right? I mean, that's what you'd do logically.
Or the geyser. You might go for the geyser first. But yeah, Beefy's currently moving in with strand beasts. Oh, that's very cute. That's the alligator hippo. Alligator pork with pork legs.
Yeah, it looks like one of a number of decent level 3 ranges this patch.
And a really good matchup against these armadillos. They're just crumbled.
Yeah, yeah. B-Champ using the alligator chameleons, which have seen a lot of, a big rise in popularity recently.
And I think I do favour those over the porcupines. The alligator is not a high defense stock, so you don't get that much of a bonus from perforate.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a lot of immunity coming out from USA-2. I wonder if we're going to see any defile land.
That's a great call. Wow, keep your eyes peeled for that. It is currently doing great work for them against these Lion Manor Wars that Bloth is pulling out.
Look west.
Oh my god.
They've just fallen.
Those are so
Very
good.
interesting unit.
So good, but they've got to be able to actually mass up because they will fall to these porcupines. That's Beefy hitting 4. Oh my god, Ryan is also going 4. You've got to imagine that losing, being kind of bound up in mid-fighting Blotha the way he has been has really slowed down his teching to 4 because he has had such an economic advantage.
Yeah, B-Champ's had a really rough game here. Hasn't really been able to get his macro going, and normally we consider B-Champ to be a really strong macro-heavy player. Meanwhile, Ryan's been had that right island pretty much uncontested, as has Beefy with the West Island.
And he took it so much slower. Bloth has done a really good job of containing Ryan when he's had such an economic advantage early on. And
what is interesting to me is Beefy is on the right-hand side.
Yes, and he took the left island. That's right.
Yeah, right? And now Blotho on the left is contesting Ryan on the right.
I think that's really good communication between the two of them. They obviously chose which targets they wanted to take. By the way, those 3 snakes that Matt made have gone around and completely obliterated Ryan's Expo. Ryan has nothing in base and he has lost the island. Will, I think this is over.
I think so too. I think Beefy being able just to control that West Island for so long is really dangerous. Beefy is really quite a macro-heavy player. Because Ryan was never allowed to get going by good harassment by Blother, Beefy was just uncontested and could just really macro as hard as he could, and he's just won the game here. He's completely come in. Really effective raiding though from the, were they Python rattlesnakes?
Python rattlesnakes, yeah. No, so Python, yeah, rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Beautiful little units. I'm surprised they got as much done as they did. There was only 3 that went to Ryan's Expo at the end there. You know what? If you'd asked me at level 3 which way this game was going to go, I would have said it was all USA.
Just completely leveled the game. But it's a huge burst.
Huge burst, but these things have just enough HP to tank a burst.
They're calling it GG.
Ryan is calling it G.
And Eroded Duos goes to Beefy and Blother, which is interesting to me that they really didn't have too much time to prepare for this game. But
that's exactly right. I mean, we saw them play. Just prior to this, they played some warm-up games, and that was the only games they've ever played as a team. They played about 3 games. Kevin's first 3 games in like 2 years.
I will highlight they did play all those games on duos, though.
That's exactly right.
So this really does depend on what sort of map that B-Champ and Ryan are going to pull out against them. Now, if you're B-Champ and Ryan, you're USA-2, what maps do you pull against a rather unpracticed Scotland team?
Well, that's a huge call, but you've got to think that they've got to somehow fall back on their combined experience, on their unrustiness, and maybe pick a map where team coordination is more important. They've been training together. Maybe pick something like Tier or Plateau where you can split them up and really capitalize on your flexibility, on your knowledge of the current meta, I suppose, as well. What do you think?
I think you're really down. Like, I think you've got it right with splitting them up. I know that B-Champ and Ryan have practiced a lot of Fortress. Fortress is another map where you can split off Beefy and Blother. But again, it's a map where players can macro still just within their own base.
That's exactly right. And you know,
letting those players do it is just... Oof.
I discount Fortress a lot because you just don't see it played often in like non-tournament games, but it's a really wacky map.
Yeah, it's a map I'm really looking forward to playing, actually. It's a map that I've done a lot of practice on recently.
Wow, nice.
Well, it was one of the maps that everyone kind of recognised as going to be a weak map for me, so I've really found out quite a lot of interesting things about the map, and kind of remains to be seen as to what the other teams have done in regards to preparation on that map.
Well, I really want to pick your brains about it, but I won't do it somewhere where...
I don't want to reveal my secrets now.
I don't want you to reveal your secrets.
Looks like we might be seeing Glacier actually coming out.
Oh my god, Glacier is a strange call because neither Kevin or Matt, I don't think, have ever played on Glacier.
Whereas, of course, B-Champ on USA-2 actually made Glacier.
That's right? You're exactly correct, yes. Now, I've got to ask, dude, did you pick game one going that way, like heading in? If I'm talking to you about your picks prior to this set, who did you have winning?
So I knew this series was going to be really, really close.
Fast,
I wasn't sure how duos was going to go because I do think that although B-Champ and Ryan have practiced this a lot and have played quite a lot together as a team, I think duos is a map that really, really favors like heavy macro play, and working out which team it was that was going to have that macro, you'd probably lend towards Beefy and Bother, even though they don't have that practice. Just because of the sort of players they are, you'd probably say, okay, I think these guys will have it. But they actually had quite coordinated play, and there wasn't any wacky strategies from B-Champ or Ryan, so I think it's probably fair to say that they would have won duos. Overall, when it comes to the series, I wanted to give it to USA-2 just because I think that the teamwork that should have been practiced over the sort of past coming couple of weeks should make a difference, right? You should see some unique strategies and stuff that stuff that Scotland aren't prepared to face.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you?
I really thought that the rust was really going to hold Scotland down a lot, and it's kind of interesting. I mentioned those warm-up games before. I think they're really critical because that first warm-up game, I know the viewers didn't see it, but they went down pretty hard. And I think through the course of those warm-up games, they got a lot stronger. And I think we're really seeing a benefit from that. That's kind of the cool thing about some of these really good old players. They can unrust really quickly. And I just wanted to point out before we move on too much, Ryan with the army kilts are overrated. Beefy bringing out the army, fuck you, Ryan, in response to that.
We also saw B-Champ with the Ryan, tilts are overstated. So tilts are overstated. Kilts are overrated.
And we just can't look past Blothers with possibly the best army name of A-Champ.
Yup. Oh, we're going to go to Soothing instead.
Goodness.
I thought we were going to go Glacier, but Soothing's...
This is, okay, no, this is like one of Brandon's favourite maps.
It is, but I don't think this is a good pick for them. They might be really, really good at it. But again, you're forcing Beefy and Blother to play... to get like their bases are going to be together, so you've got to kill both players to really get the win. But both players are now going to have that ability just to macro either side. I think it comes down to how well B-Champ and Brian manipulate the spare gen, as it were.
Yes, yes.
North and South both have kind of an odd number of generators, so finding out who gets that player or who gets that gen and what they do with it is going to be a really interesting thing to see what happens. So,
Well, do you see this, Will? Joseph's got a game up with 3 slots. You want to just bounce?
Just give up the cast.
Yeah. See you guys later. I'm sure this
Yeah, I
is
mean,
going
I
to
don't
be
think
really
the viewers
fun.
really care about this game, so this is just a small game between two who I would actually, I would probably consider USA-2 and Scotland to be 2 of the top 5 seeded teams of the tournament. I don't think we really mentioned that. How we? I mean, what did you have these guys in your top 5 or?
Honestly, Scotland, no. This USA team,
Oh,
yes.
interesting.
And you can't see this, Wilso, but Ryan has just messaged me in team chat asking, do I think they have this map? And I said, no.
Unless B-Champ and Ryan have a unique strategy for this, I think they're going to struggle. I really think that going for a map where you split them off would have been a better strategy.
I'm going to agree with
Tier
that.
obviously was a good call, but
Tier, B-Champ is really good on tier. That's probably what I would have seen coming. I think he is anyway. He recently confessed in a cast that every time he says he likes or dislikes a map, it's just a mind game to convince people to pick it or not to pick it in tournaments. So when he says he loves tier, maybe he actually hates tier. I can't get a read on this guy.
But he is very good at tier. But interestingly, I also think Beefy is very, very good at tier. Or historically he has been. So maybe that's a bit of like, I don't want to pick that because I think they're also going to be good at it.
Yeah, tier is an old map, and Matt has played on it for years and years. The 2v2 variant of this map, of course, being very young.
Obviously, the original of this map, though, being old as I see itself.
That's right.
So, all players should know the map. It's just about whether they can sort of manage the economies and manage how the map flows.
All right, we've got Team USA up the north, and we've got Team Scotland down south. I'd love to see a really early rush from USA because no one sees it coming on this map. Beefy making a rod in a weird place, but we'll let him get away with that.
I was thinking that, but oh, do you see a game pause?
I do see a game pause.
Just for the viewers, this is not myself or Will. This is Lover. We'll just tell him what to do here.
He just started Borderless Gaming, so just tell him to tab out and tab back in. We have had some technical difficulties, so he's using Borderless Gaming. Yep, looks good. All right, fantastic. We are back underway. He can test it just panning around the pause screen. So.
All right. Okay. Okay, so some minor technical difficulties here, but unfortunately that is the nature of playing a game that is quite literally 18 years old.
Don't say that around me. we have B-Champ coming. Oh, sorry, Ryan coming out fast. I think he's going to go fence. We
possibly
also have Blother coming out. Blother's a little bit behind. They'll probably meet in the middle.
I actually think Ryan might be going for that generator because I know the sort of player that Ryan is, and it really wouldn't surprise me to see him get that generator down. Like really, he does.
There's the fence, and he fences the gen out.
Fence.
Wow, you're exactly right. What's Blother gonna do? Is he just going for the expert? Or is he? Or is he?
How do you feel about the Expo in mid on Soothing? Do you think it's a strong Expo or quite a weak Expo?
It's very easily rateable from the cliffs. My tendency is always to go for the islands, but that's just habit. I don't necessarily have a good reason for doing that, you know? And we have Ryan coming for the mid Expo pretty quick, actually.
With a lot of hench too. I'm somewhat under the impression that actually the cliff is one of the stronger expansions to get on this map.
I agree. I think the cliff is really good.
From there really easily.
Yes.
You have a gen, you have 4 coal is decent. So there's quite a lot you can do with it.
B-Champ has gone power 3, he's producing flyers. The air chamber is up. Oh my god, this is going to be devastating. If he can just produce these, whatever he's got, you know it's going to be spicy. I think we've got everyone. Oh no, oh my god, Matt's only just going 2 now.
He's gone full macro, but I just don't see that much from him, to be honest.
Meanwhile, in Ryan's base, we have Rat Battlesnakes coming out, so they are going to have map and knowledge. Those combined with flyers can be extremely potent.
Yeah, because B-Champ's going to know exactly where to hit if Ryan can use the rat rattlesnakes to find where any expos are. Where has anti-air chambers? Or anti-air towers, rather. Where's vulnerable? We just need to see these flyers come out.
Meanwhile, Matt is going for this cliff. He's just kind of maneuvering this gyro around, but it looks like Scotland is like a fawn in the woods, honestly, about to be pounced on by this USA team because they are concocting something special.
Yeah, and Blother's just going to take this generator in the middle for free and possibly shoot on his fence. And if he sees these air chambers, that's kind of...
That's game, yeah.
That's going to give some warning, right? That's going to give him some severe warning that anti-air towers might be necessary.
No islands have been taken yet. That's unbelievable. Wait, B-Champ only just now hit 3. Oh, of course, because you can create ACs before level 3. So B-Champ got these up. Oh my god, it's the Quactical
And
nuke.
Beefy's going 3. He's not even that early. Oh, Albiels. It's Albiels.
Fully upgraded.
He's going to go on first henchman.
Sorry, not fully upgraded. I did notice that B-Champ made this gen amp. This is a really huge play.
Oh, he moves them just in time. Oh no, but Blother spotted them.
I think...
Are we going to see the dash for AAs now?
I think he has probably got knowledge of the situation thanks to that rat battlesnake. Blother scouted the island but didn't do anything with it. That's so interesting. Does he need a water chamber? What's going on?
Take him back now, though. And anti-air towers are out now. We are seeing anti-air towers.
Oh no, has the surprise been ruined? Okay, he is coming in to nuke the main base. This is going to be huge. Juicy. That was perfect.
The lightning rod falling.
Oh my god. That was... you just heard Mutt.
You have a wheezy laugh?
You just heard Mutt in the call wheezing with laughter, and I agree. That was hilarious.
More anti-air towers.
But hey,
we're going to see another burst, though.
Now we see the true genius of Matt's dispersed lightning rods.
More
bursting. Oh my god. And meanwhile, the push through mid with this artillery and a couple of AAs per expansion is not going to save the henchmen from these Quactical nukes.
Not at all. The Quactical nukes actually can just destroy the anti-air towers with burst. I think they do 150 damage to towers, I believe. I could be wrong.
Scotland is in huge trouble now. These lioness chameleons are on the scene. They have busted through. The economy of Scotland is in shambles. I don't know what they're going to do. B-Champ's taking the North Island.
Yeah, I was going to say you needed to see Blother or Beefy take the islands.
Sorry, Ryan's taking
Blother's got a hench there, but this really looks like the B-Champ show. He has 2 safe expos at home. Meanwhile, Ryan's being the aggressor with the forward expansions. And these Quactical nukes are just going to do so much damage. They're just going to continuously burst, and there is like so little defense against this.
Ryan only just hit 3. B-Champ going a fast 3 while Ryan booms so that B-Champ can just nuke the coal income. And these Quactical nukes are so scary, dude.
They're one of my least favorite units to go in.
I totally agree. They're going for another dive. Is Blother going to spot it? He's not. Boom.
And there goes all the hench. And that's such a huge economy dip.
I feel like the morale on Scotland team must be so low right now.
I mean, there's not really a defense. You've got to have AAs intercepting the routes to your expos, and that's not easy to do.
Well, the best thing to do is to just stay aware. You know, watch the map when you see them come in, move those hench as fast as you can. But definitely it caught Scotland unawares.
We are seeing some Beefy though. On the north side of the map, he's hit B-Champ's eastern expansion.
But he's about to get hit by these flyers again. He's got to move those hench. B-Champ is just ruthless.
Oh gosh. Really, really ruthless.
Oh, but there he goes. He's running. Perfect. That's the move. My man. That was exactly right. That's what you got to do.
And the A's were perfect, yeah.
As if he heard me. That's perfect play. But he's got to keep doing it.
Is the gimmick over?
No, by no means. Oh my god, in the base. Beefy has raided.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job of this raid, keeping the henchmen off the coal. These cuddle ostriches.
This was just like a few, cuttlefish ostriches that came around from the east side. I believe. Were they gyro dropped? I believe they just came down.
Possibly, I'm not sure. Oh no, Beefy would have. Yes, Beefy sent them around. And it's these chameleon bears, which I really love. They match up pretty well against these lioness chameleons because they just have this beef
the
behind
higher
them.
HP and yeah, exactly. And you don't have to pay for some of the other abilities that the lioness does.
Wow, and they've won that engagement. That looked like a really dominant attack from B-Champ, but it was just a little too slow, I think. Just gave Blother enough time to stock up his defenses. Meanwhile,
we're going to see a gyro drop though from Beefy.
Beefy is squatting on some of these natural expansions, which is really good with his camouflage units. And you're exactly right, the gyro drop. Oh my god, these critical nukes are back. They're hungry. They took 2 hench this time, but they're all dead now.
They're starting to damage these anti-air towers, but there's just not enough nukes now.
That's right.
And Beefy's actually canned this really well. He sees the flyers coming. He moves his henchmen quickly to the anti-air towers, and doesn't really lose that many.
Will say, look at this by the North Island. Mufasa goes to heaven. The boy.
Oh, what a beautiful unit. What a beautiful unit.
Meanwhile, Matt is kind of thinking about going somewhere with the North Island with that gyro, but perhaps he will go for the cliffs.
I wonder if Matt has binocs and can see those lines with his gyro
He's
from
definitely got binoculars by now, I guarantee it. Who's going for? Anybody. Nobody's going for. Everyone's just making more henchmen because they've all suffered. This is an amazing game so far. The nukes are back. Oh, devastating attack in mid. The nukes obliterating the level 3 force. And we're back to status quo again.
So what I'd really like to see B-Champ do is hit the expansion point kind of south. It's a beefy expansion south. It's natural expansion, you could call it.
Yes, exactly.
That is just so vulnerable. No anti-air towers.
It's always so vulnerable, that one.
Meanwhile, the North Island looks like it is going to fall.
It's gone. How has this happened?
How is Beefy able to sustain this economy with these cracks coming all over?
I know. I think mostly Blother got hit. Beefy got hit really hard at his main base, but he's recovered.
And Blother's Island's just been uncontested.
I don't know.
You really want to see someone hit that.
You have to. I don't know when Matt went 4, but he went 4 so much sooner than everyone else. Everyone else now is just now going 4.
So Ryan has a lot of these the hatchfish lions in mid, and you just think if he hovers those up to really either of the cliffs, he can do some serious damage to Matt's economy. Meanwhile, Matt's going to do a hover job right in mid as well.
I am getting flares for these idle henchmen. Ryan has a lot of idle henchmen standing around at B-Champ's Natural Expo.
Oh, he does.
B-Champ's flared it twice. I don't think Ryan's doing anything about it. There they go. Wow, B-Champ flaring aggressively. Unusually for him, they must be feeling some tension. These lion hatchetfish have made it to the cliff and are harassing Matt's Expo. I don't know if he knows about that. He's too busy going north, I think.
Matt really is just been allowed to just walk through North Island. Really uncontested. Ryan now going to try and make a play for the South Island, but others... These are humpback lions?
Oh no! Oh Ryan, you poor man. The timing here, it could not be worse. Just in time for these units to come out. Those are beautiful level 4s.
They are quite nice. Good stats.
And look,
a bit of a meat grind going on in mid, but I don't think that mid's particularly powerful.
At this point, it's really the American team's last bastion. You know what I mean? They've lost pretty much everywhere else. They need to maintain this economic stand here. But I've got to say, now that everyone's level 4, maybe Beefy's momentum is sagging a little bit. At least they can defend against him now, and they are shelling. Pardon me, shelling his cliff expo with a little bit of artillery here. Great play. But
no, I just really want to see Ryan do something more with.
Well, Ryan.
Yeah, he was left uncontested for so long.
Ryan
is
just going for a gyro drop here right now. It looks like he's going for the South Island. Ooh, this is going to be spicy.
As long as it's units.
Meanwhile, Matt is attacking up north, and everyone is running around the cliffs. That's a good attack. That'll take out the expo. But these level 4s will come back to defend.
But I mean, which units? I think that Ryan's units are more cost efficient.
Perhaps
because
so.
of the poison. Should match up pretty well.
Perhaps so.
He will lose.
They're just raiding.
He can do the damage. Oh, and he's now going to raid the other expansion, whilst the level 4s are distracted. This is really smart.
That is really smart, but the base is now looking like it's in trouble. Oh, but
Beefy going 5. He's halfway to level 5.
oh my god, the man is
And Ryan and
unstoppable.
Beacham aren't there at all.
And these blue ring octopus horses are doing a pretty good job against these bounties, these hippo spitting spiders. They don't have a great matchup with melee versus range, but they are really holding them down. That's exactly what USA needs to do.
Meanwhile, Beacham does have alligator bombardiers coming out, level 4 artillery.
Crocodiles.
Crocodile.
Yeah, crocs.
Interesting.
Good call, but these do have immune, unfortunately. The level 4s that they're attacking.
If you keep them out of range, he's okay, but...
Wow, and suddenly...
I would love to have seen Beacham use this hover. It would have been really nice. Huge attack from Blother on the east as well.
That's exactly right. Beefy could finally start reinforcing these cliff expos with henchmen. He has lost a lot of eco there. Ooh, hatchetfish hippo. Unfortunately, those were definitely going to do a hover raid, but they have been intercepted by Blother's level 4s. My god, this game is just wall-to-wall, huge plays. Yes, and Brandon signaling for help in the water here.
So I don't know how much help Ryan can give, really.
No one else is going 5 that I can see. Oh, Kevin is almost 5. Oh my word.
Oh, this has really been the Scotland show.
But the Cliff Workshop was lost to Scotland, the North Cliff, which is really huge because they have units there, but they can't make more hench. That North Cliff is almost de facto USA territory now, and the South Cliff is barren as well, but Beefy has made up for it by taking the North Island. We are still relatively even on the eco, but USA has got to start mining these piles.
Yeah, and gotta fend off this attack as well. Mid's looking scary because there's a huge mass of units. The North expansion is looking kind of scary, and now there's units trickling in from the west side as well.
Oh, yeah, Matt started producing these humpback porks. This has got to feel bad for USA. They've done so well this game.
Oh, these are humpback porks. These are scary too. And so we're now seeing more practical nukes coming in, but is this the old too little too late?
It is. Sad to say, get your World Cup tournament cards out because this is too little too late. It's going to be so hard for them to stymie the Scottish aggression. A burst! The practical nukes have been nuked. Counter nuke, nuke combat. That was gorgeous. That's the kind of catharsis we need. That kind of wraps up this match's story in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's no real way at all now for Ryan and Beacham USA-2 to do anything to fend this off.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to count them out till they're gone, but it looks like they're gone.
I think it's probably fair to say they're gone. You look at the massive units coming through mid, the level 5s on the west side, including on the cliff. That's Ryan's last big expansion falling.
This is unreal.
This is...
There's so much Beefy. This is, what a hell of a game. That's probably my favourite game of the Cup so far. That was so wall-to-wall. And hey, Team USA not giving up. Beacham going 5. Gorgeous, but calling GG. Oof. You know, the poor man, he has organised this tournament, he's put blood, sweat and tears into it, and it seems that he's cursed every time he organises a tournament. He goes out round 1. It's happened every single time. My lord, but the writing is on the wall at this stage, I'm afraid. Who would have seen it coming? Bola Sparwall's a gorgeous unit, very strong little level 4 range. And here come the Behemogas from Blother. Dear me, how many nails can you put in a coffin? Not a great hover though. Oh, he's going to lose some to this poison. Oh no! Let's see it, come on, get them boys. There they go, they just keel over and die. That was an ill-advised hover there from Blother.
A lot of artillery, but there's just so much Beefy. If Beefy just gets a mass going, or really if Blother just walks through mid, this is game over.
I guess I forgot how scary Beefy can be.
Champ does have flyers now. These colossal dragonflies, he does love these. 60 melee is huge for flyers,
Oh, they're
especially
doing
with
a
keen
good
scent.
job. The minimap doesn't look so scary anymore.
Ryan fencing an expansion, but he doesn't have the expansion. But he is going to raid it, I think.
He should get the
South
fence
Island we're
upgrade
talking
if he
about.
wants to be doing this, because there's not much point doing this at level 5, you know? Now he's just trapped himself in and he's
2 to 15.
outnumbered.
But he does have units. And
He's got to
the
get this
expansion is
workshop
being
up.
produced.
If he gets this workshop up, that's really huge for him.
Octopus horses are coming out as well. Oh, suddenly B-Champ and Ryan not looking in as much trouble.
Well, I think that's
Really huge
largely
recovery.
because the knots of units for the Scotland team are pretty concentrated. They don't look as distributed on the minimap. Economically, they're still massively ahead, and every second they keep that lead is drama for Team USA.
But that does mean that what Ryan's doing and trying to raid this expansion
Oh,
is
huge,
good, but
huge, but it's taking too
can just
long.
defend.
That's right.
And really the expansion that's vulnerable, or was vulnerable, was the North Island, but a lot of Beefy's just able just to throw some water chambers down, and now he can reinforce. I really wish you could have seen like another Quatcon nuke coming at one of the more vulnerable expansions.
Yeah, but I mean, Beefy did such a good job of getting away from it. His hench management was really, really smart. And as soon as you lose one Quactical nuke raid, you kind of start feeling, shoot, is this really worth it anymore? Also, unfortunately for B-Champ, those flyers are gorgeous, but he was using so many flyers before that now there's AA everywhere. Oh, good raid though. Are you catching this? The mid-expo?
Yeah, he did take south, and oh yeah, mid, yeah, it's nice.
What?
Didn't see that. Really nice to use the artillery to attack the cliff units as well in middle.
What's going on?
Northern's kind of had a massive crop box and not done anything with them. You'd like to see him use these.
There's enough artillery here that it's actually going to do a decent job of taking out these flyers.
I don't know if you've noticed, B-Champ doesn't have a water chamber.
Oh my goodness, you're completely right. Maybe he's just going to focus flyers.
I think it's his only play. Unless he can get a water chamber down soon, but he doesn't seem to be prioritizing it.
Maybe he could if he wants, you know, but he just hasn't. And I kind
actually, I suppose his level 5s are land, right? The squid bombardiers.
I mean, maybe he doesn't have. Maybe he doesn't have too much at level 5. You know, like he probably
very possible.
He might just run art flyers because you don't normally see games go this long in a tournament.
A huge, massive melee coming in from Beefy now on the North Island. He is absolutely spamming out these alligator moose.
He must be a popcat because he's got so many of these crocopines just hanging. Oh, sorry, that's Blotha has these just hanging out. I wonder if he's forgotten about him.
Beefy has a lot of humpback orcs over at his home expansion, his natural expo.
Maybe that's just base defense for these flyers. No, they seem to be moving out.
Yeah,
and the upgrades. The upgrades have completely come out. These mooses are doing some real damage up north. Fantastic counterattack from USA.
Coming in south, but it's just too. I don't know if there's anything you can do about this. The flyers need to come in and help at base now because Scotland are arriving in force.
But the flyers have such a good matchup here. I'm not sure what Beefy's thinking, really.
They do, but because the level 4s, the melee will cost efficiently absolutely destroy the artillery. And that enables them. And here's the range coming.
Here's the range, you're right, of course.
The delayed push was absolutely perfect. To kill all the artillery with a weak, cost-efficient melee,
but
draw the flyers out, and that's it.
The reinforcements coming through mid are getting bound up by this artillery. Not enough artillery to do the job, though.
No, more flyers coming for a raid, but there's just so many anti-air towers and so many units. It's just impossible.
My goodness, this is GG again from the looks of things.
I think it's always been GG. I think it was really a case of how long do you keep this going on for? You don't want to rush the win and potentially throw it away. You want to make sure you're in the best possible position and make sure the team cannot possibly recover.
You want to tease the commentators
for this long. Perfect. This really has been a very good example of effective play to ensure a win from Beefy and Blother.
And other than those practical nukes, this has been a real traditional game. Not too.
Yeah, the only thing that we didn't see was early island aggression, which I think kind of is typical of Soothing. particularly the 2v2 variant.
And maybe that would have done differently for Team USA. I think they were trying something a little bit new by focusing middle instead, and it almost worked for them. I thought it was going to.
I think the plan must have been the Quetzalcoatl nukes could hit the islands very, very well, because you can't really get too many AAs up. But with neither team really going for the islands until quite late on, the Quetzalcoatl nukes had kind of served their purpose by then.
It's just a question of how come those Quetzalcoatl nukes didn't work better. I mean, did we not see enough of them? Did he not hit enough sites? He clearly had the vision thanks to those Rat Battlesnakes.
I don't know. I think the Rat Battlesnake must have died fairly early. I think it
there
died
was like
at the level
24
3.
of them. They have sonar pulse.
So maybe it was just misusage, but yeah, we didn't see anywhere near enough Quetzalcoatl nuke usage on the vulnerable expansions. Beefy's natural expansion is still vulnerable. And still has never been hit.
Look, I forgive him for that because the couple of raids he did were so successful. He must have been feeling good, you know?
Yeah, he must have been thinking, "Oh, hang on, I've done really good work in setting back the opponent." But as soon as Beefy adapted to it and worked out the counterplay, particularly on the mid expansion, he just
I do think that
suddenly the nukes just did have no cost efficiency.
That's right. I think that was really the turning point of the game was when Matt managed that dodge. That was really huge, and it looked so good to see as well. And here's the labs going down. Ryan not even throwing up Lab D. They must be absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah, they've done so much prep, and so it will look like USA-2 will be falling into the losers bracket, where they will go on to face Australia on Glacier.
My God.
Meanwhile, the Scotland team will go on to face the winner of England 2, that's Nandid and myself, against Italy, which is Marco and Kiki.
So
coming up soon.
Look at these scores.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Beecham absolutely running away with overall, doing so good on combat.
Yeah, that combat score is huge.
270
Ryan really having
kills.
a tough time of it with resource. I think the Ryan to mid play was interesting by letting Beecham have that economy to get the flyers in, but just very difficult. And we are now joined by Beecham.
Beecham is Ryan here as well? Beecham
as well. He
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
here.
guys! I've got to say, two fantastic games, especially game 2. That was amazing. The strat with the Albatross Eels, and I think, am I correct in imagining that the Rat Battlesnakes were sonar pulsing Expos?
Yeah.
That is a huge play. That is so big brain. Tell me, in your opinion, where did it all go wrong?
So we hit level 3 about 50 seconds later than what we had been practicing.
Oof.
Yeah, we didn't do a warm-up game for this strat, which probably was bad because we haven't done it in a few days. We've only tried it a couple times total, really. And then also, once we did it the first time, I really don't think it was necessary to try too many more times. But I think I just kept building more because I didn't know what to do.
Sure.
Interesting.
But I think really what we should have done is just played a traditional game after kind of like got the first burst off.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it was a really great strat to watch, and it worked really, really well until it didn't.
Yeah, precisely.
Is this the electric burst?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise the first time.
Sorry,
you
Matt.
Actually unplugged your microphone.
You actually unplugged your microphone. Go again.
Yeah, I just unplugged my headset, but I dodged the 2 following ones, which I was pretty happy about.
Yeah, it was.
You did.
It was so good. I can't wait for you to watch the replay because I'm saying exactly that, and then you do it. Look,
I was so certain they were gonna pick Crag for game 2 that me and Kevin both made a Crag army, and then they didn't, and we had no army. So...
That's hysterical.
You were assuming that you'd win game 1. Interesting.
Naturally.
Well, hey, look. I think we have Matt and Kevin in the call, guys. How does it feel?
Pretty good.
It looks like it got pretty
lie.
good.
It's pretty satisfying.
Kevin, was there a moment there where you thought you'd lost game 2?
Is there a moment that I thought I lost game 2? Well, I mean, the second you pick Soothing Oasis, I'm like, fuck this.
And
Especially when I realized I didn't have a flyer or like anything. Really. I was just like, this isn't it.
this ain't it, Chief. And those bursts must have been a low point. It's so hard to recover from that, just like morale-wise.
It was pretty funny because we were just like, oh shit. Oh dear.
I'll be honest, I didn't even like realize it was happening. Like,
yeah, I didn't see the fires.
No, base. I'm just like, oh look, base is gone. I'll just like go to more henchmen again.
I'm really.
And I realized all my lightning rods were gone too. I was like, oh.
God, you fucking drunken wushu masters over there, just stumbling through. Well, hey, phenomenal play on both of your parts. Anything to add from either of the two teams?
No, but there is something from me. God damn it. I really want to know, what was the plan for Ryan? So what we noticed in that game was we did see quite a bit of Ryan in mid and Beachap having both of these safe expansions, both natural expansions close to your base. Was that something you'd already planned, or was that something that just occurred naturally?
Yeah, so the goal was I funnel Beachamp to 3. We hit a 4-minute level 3. I'll build the base as I'm scouting everything with rat battle snakes, and then we kind of just win the game at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So like, the only reason I was in mid was just to take it because I already had hench there to build the air chambers.
Yeah.
And then I was just gonna like give all the other resources to Brandon, and then it kind of fell apart. So I'm like, well, they still don't have this North Island. I have to go there. And then I didn't have level 5s at all, so just the game kind of snowballed out of control.
Yep, I think that's what did it. But it's so rare to see games make it to level 5 in a tournament setting. I can't blame you for that.
Yeah, it's definitely Soothing. I mean, Soothing is one of the most likely maps probably to go to level
sure,
5.
Yeah.
We were hoping to get more control of the cliffs, but we were beaten there. And
I don't know. My build was so messed up. I went like advanced lightning rod, advanced structures, gyro pad.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. We did comment on that. That was a pretty wacky build.
I mean, it paid off. We weren't able to take those. We could kind of hurt them a little bit, but never able to take them for ourselves, which I think, when we didn't have the islands either, that's kind of cost us a lot.
Man, I think it came down to that one failed burst that Matt dodged there on the cliffs. After that moment, it was all kind of downhill. But you did an excellent job rebounding after you called GG. Especially Ryan coming down and taking that South Island was a huge play.
Yeah.
Really, really good Octopus Horse management as well, hitting both expos, tying up the level 4 melees.
Classic is a fundamental of IC is Octo Horse management.
Yeah, the level 5 matchup was really good, like unit-wise, so I couldn't have asked for anything better than to having poison bombardier beetles against porks.
Yeah, I sent a bunch of melee units to just try and clear somehow, and I was like, you know what, I can probably just win off Forza numbers. I had like 4 gens fully upgraded at one point.
We actually highlighted that in the cast and said that the Alligator Moose did a really good job of hitting the Bombardier Beetles and then forcing the Flyers into action, drawing them out. And that was just when your range hit.
Yeah.
Which is like, you'd nullified so much of the artillery, and then you could focus down the Flyers as they came because they were trickling towards you. It just looked beautiful. It looked like you couldn't have planned it any better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It was, I like that. I had a lot of fun, guys.
Well, I'm really glad to hear it. Unfortunately, Team Scotland, the curse is not lifted. You have to play another game. And unfortunately, B-Champ, the curse is not lifted. You are out round 1 in your tournament again.
Yep, it appears that way.
It's the organized. You got that TO Johns. You can say, well, you're organized. So.
Looks like we'll be playing Australia on Glacier next.
Ooh,
correct.
KV's scary.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a tough matchup as well.
Look,
and Scotland, you'll go on to play the winner of England 2 and Marquee G.
I'm pretty excited for that.
Wow, England 2, you've got such a gauntlet ahead of you here.
Oh gosh, you're telling me.
Fantastic. Look, guys, fantastic game. Really great. Thank you so much for joining us to play. Great games to everyone. Congratulations to the winners. Consolations to the losers. Thanks, Wilso, for joining me on the couch.
And thanks, Australian Will, for hosting the cast.
Double W, at it again.
We finally did it.
We finally did it. And we'll catch you all for the next replay.